Hello and welcome to Azariah's Studio. My name is Sarah. I am the artist and designer behind Azariah's Studio. Okay, in this bag is fleece from down the street from here, from New Mexico State University. They are one of the few, possibly the only, universities that still have animals on site. They have Southdown baby doll sheep. Pretty sure they're baby dolls. And I got some of the wool. So what I'm going to do now is sort it to wash it. It's in this separate bag because it came from this stash here. And that was a lot to do, so I just got enough out to get started with. So that's what this is. So as I'm sorting through, I'm going to pull out things that I won't spin. If it's too dirty, if it's too short, things of that nature. I have these garment bags that, as you can see, I've washed fleece in before. Some of it's gotten a little felted to it, which happens in the fleece washing process. You just have to be careful. So I have 4 of these garment bags, and I'm going to fill them up. I'm going to do that on camera for you here right now, show you things that I'm picking out of the fleece and not keeping, and then I will show you how to wash it. The better you prepare your fiber, the better your finished yarn will be. And you want to put more work in on this end than as you're spinning. These sheep do live in a dirt floor barn. They don't see pasture. They don't get fed overhead, but they still end up with a lot of dust and dirt in them. This will come quite clean from what I've seen. My daughter, she actually processed some of this in her dorm room at NMSU, and it came out quite nice, quite white. This sheep was not shorn with fiber spinning or arts in mind, so there's going to be a lot of saggants. It was probably not sorted real well. It was just all picked up and put in the bag, and it was headed for the dumpster. And somebody thought I might like to play with it, so I said, sure, why not? All right, this bag's full enough. I'm going to zip it up, put it aside, and get the other 3 done. My daughter did help me sort this the first time around, and she's not quite as ruthless as I am. So there's some more stuff in here that I'm just going to pull out. And I will do this again after the washing. Be picky again before I put things through the picker. But that's the next step, and we won't get into that just yet. A lot of these seed covers, sometimes they break and you can't get them out. Sometimes you can get them out, but they turn into be really pokey things. But I'm on this mesh table and got some of them out. Picker will get some more out. So I'm just at a table in my backyard. This table happens to be a mesh table, which is really nice and helpful. I would not do this part inside unless you have a tarp or a drop cloth or something on the floor, because there's dirt in any fresh fleece that you've got. So this is the cut side. This is the outside. This guy's already got some felting going on. We'll pull those parts out. I've never worked with this breed before, so we'll see what the picker is able to get undone and what it's not able to get undone. Just this point right here, making sure I'm pulling out all the sackets. So sackets are when the shearer has to go back over the animal a second or even a third time, and so they're really short. And that's why we call them sackets. Not because they're second rate or anything like that, just because they're second cuts. And to go back and make a second or third cut, and they're just too short. My ultimate goal here is a hat. But we got to get it processed first. So seeds and sticks, sackets, anything that looks like it might be too matted or felted to come apart. I will be processing this on the drum carder. So that's also something else I'm keeping in mind. I want to be nice to the teeth of my drum carder. So if I, like the felted matted piece I tossed out, if I don't want to try and put it through my drum carder, then I'm not going to keep it. I do have hand cards, but that's not what I want to do. See, these guys were the first of sacket cuts. All right, that's 3 bags. All right, last one. It's got some wool in it. Let's pull it out. Okay. So how do you know if something's a second or if it's short? I mean, these are obvious seconds here. Find a good example staple lengths of your fleece. So here's a good example. Here's a second next to it. Okay, so we're looking at about 2.5 inches. If you're a gardener, you can keep your seconds and you can put the fleece out there. Okay, this is too much what we call vegetable matter or VM. I don't want to try and deal with that. And the wool will be good for your plants. It'll give them nutrients. It'll keep it warm. The birds also like it. So since I am in my backyard, and I'm in an area where the dogs don't come because the dogs will like it and they might try to eat it, which would probably not be good. I'm just tossing it on the ground. The wind will take it away. The birds will take it away. I don't have a garden. Oops. All right. On the animal, there's different qualities of the fleece, like finer and coarser, depending on the location on the animal. But because of the way this one was shorn and put together, I have no idea what is what. So everybody's just going to get mixed all together. If you bought a fleece that was shorn with hand spinning in mind, it should have been put in the bag in a very particular way. And you should be able to lay it out and like have almost a map of the animal. The finer stuff is going to be in the neck. Belly should be gone. It shouldn't be in the bag at all. And then the back is where we would do like sweaters. But the neck is going to be like shawls and maybe even socks, depending on your breed. All right. So that's the fourth bag. So let's go inside and wash some fleece. All right, I'm now in my kitchen. Nothing special. I have a stainless steel double basin sink. Yours does not have to be stainless steel. This is just a personal preference, and it was also what was here when we moved in. Double basin's not required, though it is very helpful so that you'll see as we move on. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to run the hot water, and I'm going to put about 1/4 cup of Dawn dish soap in here. This is not greasy fleece at all. When I do merino, I do a whole cup because they are greasy. So full on hot water. It's turned all the way on, no cold water. I am going to let that run until it's hot before I put the drain plug in. So these sinks, we'll do 4 sinks worth. So we're going to do a wash with the soap, full hot water. Then we'll come here, full hot water, and a rinse. No soap, no nothing. We'll come back to this one, and it will be half hot, half cold. No soap again. Then this one will be all cold, and it will have vinegar in it. If you have a really greasy fleece, turning your hot water heater up might be helpful, or adding boiling water. But since this one's not very greasy, I'm not going to worry about that. I did clean the sinks, so there's no other extra surprises. Because I'm using things that are food safe, there's not going to be any issue. Don't fill the sink all the way. Fill it like, here, let me do it in the back. Fill it like to here. You want like an inch before the top of water, not suds. It will still a long way to the water. Because when you put the fleece in, it's going to displace some of the water. All right, I always move, I know you can't see that, it's off camera. I always move the faucet to where it's not over the basin that I'm working in because I don't want running water on my fleece. All right, bag of fleece. Some things you read will tell you to let it sit and do its own thing. I am slowly, it's light pressure that I'm applying and pushing it under the water. You can already see how dirty that water is. And that's just one bag and it just got in there. I'm going to do that with all 4. Remember, you don't want to agitate. Just squeeze. Don't ever wring. Pick up the first one and lay it on top of the second one. Can help keep each other down. Here's the third one. Right. Move number 3 out of the way just so we can get the 4th one in. You'll have to figure out how many your sink holds. These are pretty good sized sinks. At the last house I was in, we had bigger sinks and it actually held more than this. All right, I've got all 4 in. They're submerged. Things are yucky. I'm gonna leave them in the hot water now for 20 minutes. If you are in a house that's colder for some reason and you think the hot water won't stay at least mostly warm for that amount of time, get a cookie sheet and cover it up because you want it to keep at least some of the heat. I'm just going to leave it as is right now and then we'll come back and do the other one. Okay, and we're back. So this one's going to be, we're going to go half and half. So I have them both on, full on. I only have 1 sink stopper. Having 2 sink stoppers is definitely better because you take the chance of, as the water drains out and moves, it's going to felt your wool. If you're not sure if your hot's all warmed up, turn the cold off and check. Almost there. The reason we don't want to go from hot to cold is because we don't want to felt the wool. But because it's been sitting here at room temperature coming down, putting it right back into full hot would be a problem. Alright, so I'm going to take them out of this sink, and you're going to see I'm just going to hold them up and kind of let the water drip out. I'm going to squeeze. All the dirty water coming out. I don't want to put it into this sink while that water's running, so I'm just going to kind of set it to the back here. You will notice I have moved all of the dishes, all of the linens. There's nothing here that's going to get dirty or nasty other than the sink and probably the counter, but both of those will wash up easy enough. Now the timer that I had set was for 20 minutes. Water's still pretty warm, but as you can see I can handle it by hand, so it's not horrible. That was number 3. This one's number 4 back here in the back. The wool's looking pretty good already. We can see through the bag. I'm going to shut the water off. Again, move that faucet out of the way. Just lay it in and push it down. Still no agitating. We don't want to felt. The cooler water temperature will help to get rid of the suds. That's why we do so many rinses. And depending on the water temperature, like to touch, when I get back to this in 20 minutes, because I wouldn't cover this one with a cookie sheet either, just the first one. But when I get back to this in 20 minutes, if it's significantly cooler, we might go almost full on cold. The only reason I won't is because the groundwater is pretty cold coming out here, and I don't want to like totally shock it. But the cooler water and the cold water will kill the suds. All right, I'm gonna rinse off and leave that for 20 minutes. All right, I'm gonna talk through this one, but I won't talk through this one. Next time you see me come back, it will be after we're pulling it out of here for the second time. Remember to add a 1/4 cup of vinegar to that final rinse. So this one's gonna be like way more cold. Yeah, there's some difference, but I don't think it'll shock it. Pull that plug again. Still don't want the running water on the fleece. Squeeze the dirty water out. It's a little cleaner, less sudsy. Check the water temperature on occasion, adjust as needed. It's fine. If you see things sticking out that you don't want, you can always pull them off and put them aside. All right. This time I moved the faucet all the way to the back because I have fleece over here and I don't want water running here. Same deal as before. Into the water. A lot less suds, a lot less dirt. Make some space for bag number 4. All right, when I come back, it will have been almost an hour, and I will be pulling it out of its final rinse that has the vinegar added. All right, this is it. So the one special piece of equipment I have is I've got a massive salad spinner. This is the bucket for it. After I get the water out, I'm going to put them in there and take it out and spin it. Losing the light outside, so I'm not going to take you out for that. And that's also where the drying rack is. But I will include pictures. The water's still a little dark, but that's okay because you're going to wash it again after it's yarn. You could dye it at this point if you so choose. That's how to wash wool in your kitchen sink. Thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to like and subscribe. If you have more questions, you can always email me, Sarah@azariasfiberarts.com, or drop a comment below. Happy making!